So 2023 is just about over. And 2023 was probably one of the most difficult years that we have faced over the last 3 to 4 years. One of the reasons why is, yes, we still have a lot of problems regarding illnesses. We have issues regarding inflation, issues with some employment. We have issues with, just overall spending in general. And then you throw in all the other problems like Russia and Ukraine, Israel and Hamas, Iran against the United States, China, still a factor. Well, what we now know is this is just beginning. Because what is about to happen, according to experts, they say this is going to hurt millions and millions of people, and this is not going to end soon. I'm going to address what's going on in just a moment. All I ask is one thing, takes 2 seconds. Go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So first off, where do we go from here? Well, all we can really do is go one step forward and one day at a time. That's essentially what we are doing, and that's what's going to happen. Now, here's what's going on. Right now, the United States is feeling the pressure. We have pressure from Ukraine. They need more funding. We are getting pressure from Israel. They want additional funding. We're getting pressure from Mexico. That Mexico wants more funding if the United States is going to ask Mexico for their help in solving this border crisis. But there's something else that's going on as well that's putting a lot more pressure on the United States. We have a presidential election in less than 1 year. That is what is putting so much pressure on lawmakers, on the Biden administration, and other world leaders, because they know if leadership shifts and changes, then what we are currently facing could shift and change as well. Because think about this for a second. If the two candidates for the 2024 presidential election are current President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump, well, Russia knows that Donald Trump is not going to stand by as they continue to hammer Ukraine. Donald Trump is not going to allow our troops to get hit by drones in the Middle East. He's not going to allow this. And he's not going to allow tens of thousands of people enter into the United States illegally every single day. This is where world leaders are saying that this next election could be one of the most critical elections in our past history, okay, in recent history. But look at this. This is an article from today. It says U.S. China try to ease tensions as Taiwan remains a flashpoint. The United States and China are seeing increased tensions because of Taiwan and the Philippines. Not because of China and the United States. It's because of two other countries. China is having a difficult time with both of those. The United States has vowed to support both of those, and China doesn't like that. And President Xi Jinping has said that he would try to reunify Taiwan with mainland China. President Biden says that can't happen. So again, increased tensions, but it doesn't stop there. Right now, we know that more than 10,000 people are entering in the United States every single day. But the big one is there is they call it the Christmas caravan, where nearly 8,000 people are headed towards the United States. This was a couple days ago. Guess what? The United States is asking for help from Mexico. We need Mexico to help us and slow down immigration. Slow down what they are calling irregular migration, because so many people are trying to enter the United States at this time. And it's because many are worried about what's happening in their own countries, but now they have a timeline that if they don't get into the United States before there's changes, they may never make it into the United States. I don't think we're going to see big changes over the next 6 months. My guess is if we do see a change, it's going to happen if there's a change in the president, and only if there's a change to a Republican president. Again, that's not a guarantee at this time. So that's one of the issues, is that we still may face all these different crises here in the U.S. For example, some jobs in the agriculture space, they're going to illegal immigrants. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, why are we giving them our jobs? Well, they're not. What I've seen, and I've talked to many people, that they do have farms and stuff, and they have a lot of crops that they need picked. And the problem is they have big for sale signs or big for hire signs, in the front of the properties. They're putting up signs at grocery stores and just looking for anybody to come and pick. The problem is nobody wants to. So really the only people that are accepting these jobs are illegal immigrants. But again, they are taking some of the jobs. They're just not taking the jobs that many people actually want. Well, it doesn't stop there. Some food support, housing, right? Healthcare, all these things. We are losing some of these things because there's so many people coming in. And one thing I just want to point out, because everyone says, they're taking all of our food. No, they're not taking our food. What's happening is there's so many people coming into the United States that yes, we do have to go and support them in some ways. We're not giving them, thousands of dollars in food. What's happening is we have to pay for these shelters. We have to pay for people to run the shelter and people to process those immigrants coming in. Guess what? It costs money. And if we have a cap on our government spending bill, guess what? That means in order to put more stuff in there, we have to pull stuff out. And that is a lot of the additional programs that provide some food, affordable housing, right? Things like that, stuff to parks and police and schools. Yeah, it's coming out. And this is why some are saying that this is going to hurt millions and millions of people, and it's not going to end soon. This is only going to end when the election happens. And then even after that, there's going to process if there's a changeover where the next president doesn't come in until January. So again, we're over a year away. Here's another problem. Just look at this right here. Netanyahu, this is Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister from Israel. He says the Gaza war on Hamas will go on for many more months. And he's thanking the United States for new weapon sales. Yeah, the United States, okay, just the other day, they approved another sale to Israel of more weapons. That is concerning because the United States continues to say that they don't agree with what Israel is doing, but at the same time, we just sold them millions of dollars in weapons. Interesting. But again, it doesn't stop there. That's just the Israel and Hamas war. There's another war, even a bigger war. This one right here. It has to do with Russia and Ukraine. On December 29th, which was just yesterday, Russia launches the largest air attack on Ukraine since the full-scale invasion. What we know from this war and this attack, we saw more than 31 people lose their lives and more than 150 people were critically injured. Yes, this is happening as we speak. But doesn't stop there either. That was Russia attacking Ukraine. Well, Ukraine responded. Look at this. The Ukraine-Russia war live. 20 people lost their lives in the Russian border city of Belgorod after Kyiv launches retaliatory strikes. Yeah, 20 people lost their lives in Russia. That was after 31 people lost their lives in Ukraine. 50 people in 2 days lost their lives because of attacks from one country to another. Yeah, this is going to continue. This is not something that's going to go away. The United States and the Biden administration are trying to get another $60 billion to Ukraine. If they don't, according to President Biden, then we need to be ready because Russia will win the war. And if Russia wins this war against Ukraine, they'll be closer to NATO countries. And if they're closer to NATO countries, there's a higher likelihood that NATO, which includes the United States, will end up in a war against Russia. Again, huge problem. But as all this stuff is happening, there's something else that's going on. I want to fill you in on this as well, because this is something that we heard last year. And it has to do with student loans. Right now, millions of student loan borrowers didn't get the broad relief that they hoped for. But we are now hearing that 2024 could bring some of them a narrower version of relief. So less than the full $10,000, but many could get some student loan forgiveness. Now, I just wanted to throw this out there for one reason. This is still a priority from the Biden administration to ensure that all those people that were or are still paying student loan debt, that they get some type of forgiveness, whether it's $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, they just want something. So, understand that leading into this next election, This could be one of the things that the Biden administration is pushing for student loan debt forgiveness. So, I know it's probably not what many people expected, especially in this tough time, but that is what we are hearing. That the Biden administration has made a few promises, one of which is to forgive up to $10,000 in student loan debt. They have not been able to do that. The second, give $2,400 per year to Social Security recipients. That is also something they were not able to fulfill. So, we'll see moving forward, but that is what we know as of this time. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.